Well, I was thinking about the assembly programming thread that was on the GRC forums, and I've done a little bit of assembly in Windows so far, not very much, but I really don't have much time to be doing it as much as I would like. But I did have enough time to get the DOS box set up in a way where it was usable. And when I say DOS box, I don't mean the application DOS box. I mean a free DOS VM running in VirtualBox. So what I figured out is kind of two things. So this prompt right here is actually FreeDOS, and I'm connecting to it on computer, a computer, not this computer, but it's a computer that's running Windows 10, and then on that Windows 10 installation is VirtualBox, and then FreeDOS is running in that. So one thing I figured out how to do was to get the mouse to work really quite well, which was a major problem. Um, so I can just use the mouse like this, and it works perfectly fine. One thing I haven't figured out how to do is how to get the screen to zoom in more than 100%, which would be nice if I could get it to zoom through this remote desktop connection. But I can use the MASM utilities or any of the other assembly utilities that are normal for uh, for DOS. Like this is the programmer's workbench for MASM, so I can do that. Um, and then it has the debug command, which is just built in. Um, One thing is I wanted to be able to use was code view, which code view is this command, and I get this error right here, which I think I got this error last time I was using FreeDOS, and I think I did figure out how to fix it, but I forgot how to fix it. But this has networking as well, so you can look at the networking stuff like this. So you can see that it's just getting an IP address from my my Windows Server installation. So it's just getting this IP address of 52. And there's this folder on FreeDOS called Network, and it has all the things you need to set up SMB networking. So what I've done is I've made a drive F, and then I've mapped that drive F to this Windows NT box because I've been playing around with old programming languages like Borland C++ and MASM, and I have the really old version of IDA on here, so I can play around with that. I also have the new version of IDA, so I'll be able to play around with older stuff. And I think at some point I'm going to try to figure out how to do kernel debugging on the old Windows NT kernel, but I haven't got to that point yet. But one thing I was curious about is how it would play games. I don't really play video games very often, and I never played Doom, but I was curious about how Doom would run in this. So, whoops. So I downloaded it, and actually, video games do not seem to run very well through the remote desktop. Text-based applications, like you get in a programming IDE, would. I don't know if you can see this, but the performance is pretty bad. It does have sound. The sound does actually come over. Let me just see. I don't know if you can hear it, but you can see right there, like where it's showing that there's sound, that little green bar. So I don't know if you can hear it through the recording or not, but the performance is just too laggy to play video games. But I can actually see it running on the computer it's actually running on, and if it was running VirtualBox on this local machine, I think that it would probably be fast enough because I have the same exact image on a monitor above this monitor, and it actually looks perfectly fine there. But the big thing for this was that it's seamless, as in I can just move the mouse out, do what I need to do over here, and then I can go back over here, and then I can continue to work. And using the mouse is good. And then the networking is good. So this is this Windows NT box, which is right here. So it's just this share that you see the hand right there. I also downloaded the Periscope debugger right here. So I haven't quite figured out how to use that yet. I tried using it in that Windows NT 4 box. I actually haven't run it in DOS box, but I'm wondering if anybody knows whether or not Periscope might be a decent debugger to use. That might be helpful. I actually have no idea how to even use it, but maybe it's this run command. But in any case, I did actually get, if I can find it, I did actually get this program, which is a DOS exe, this DOS exe dot. I did create this program on this Windows NT box and assembled it. So it's just basically this. But the problem that I ran into, the whole reason I was doing it was because I wanted to be able to write a DOS assembly program and then debug it. So actually, if I go over here and then I what did I call it? It was just that's foolish of me. Oh yeah, it's just DOS exe. DOS exe. So see, it works over there too, but I didn't have a good way to debug it. So and then the other thing that I did over here was I figured out how to. I did this kind of thing where I can debug this program, and I already knew how to do this, but I loaded the old version of what's it called? WinDebug. Like, I found it on archive.org, and so right there. So actually, if I just go in here, and I'll just show this, just because I mean, I spent more time setting up the operating systems and figuring out how to get everything kind of like, I guess you would say, like how would you say it, like glued together, I guess. So I guess this one would be space. And then, so with this one, and so here, if I just go in here, and this is a pretty simple thing to do, then I think it's like F9, put your breakpoints, yeah, that should be good enough, and then go, and see, so it hit that breakpoint right there, and then this is just like the you know, this is just like, I've used the newer versions of WinDebug. I'm gonna try doing this in anyway, I was actually trying to show the DOS stuff, is what I was trying to show, But I haven't really got into the depth of actual assembly programming because I'm spending so much time configuring the tools and the operating systems to make them easy to use. But anyway, yeah, so for as far as the Windows side of assembly, I'll try using the old version of IDA to debug a Windows program. Anyway, I thought this might be interesting for any of the people that wanted to do DOS or Windows assembly programming. Um, anyway, that's all I got. Thank you.